Hi there, writers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use UCM's library website to find scholarly sources to use on your annotated bibliography and your final paper for this class. So for your first paper, we were using specifically web sources, although making sure that they were credible and reliable sources. Scholarly sources, however, will give you a much more complex, in-depth view of your topic and allow you to present the issue in a much more sophisticated academic way to your readers. If you don't yet know what scholarly research is, please make sure you pause this video and go watch through the resource video lesson that I posted from YouTube on what is a scholarly source and how to know when you found one. That's really important information for you here. So here's a tutorial for you on how to actually find those sources through the library site. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that you're on UCM's homepage, ucmo.edu. So once you get there, from there you can go over here to the right-hand side, Campus Links, and click that open, and then go ahead and navigate to the JCKL library page. So this is going to take you straight to the library search bar here. And so this search bar, actually, a lot of students have misunderstandings about this. This search bar doesn't necessarily pull up only scholarly sources. This search bar pulls up all types of sources that the library has access to, including internet online sources. So it may pull up something by Cosmopolitan Magazine, something by Time Magazine. It could pull up a book review. It could pull up a blog, even something like that that's more likely to be biased, or news sites, newspaper articles. And so just searching this isn't going to guarantee that scholarly sources pull up. But entering your search term into this bar is going to be the first step. Now, I'm going to use homelessness as an example. However, homelessness is very, very broad as a search term. So you want to try to be more specific with your own paper topic, maybe homelessness and addiction, or something like that, very specific to the type of information that you're looking for. But I'm going to go ahead and use homelessness as an example here. Once you've got your search term in there, you can click enter or the magnifying glass, and that's going to pull up everything that the library can find. So as you notice, 8,132 results. Now, that's a lot, and not all of these, look, this pulled up Wikipedia, right? So it's not necessarily going to be a scholarly source. What we want to do is use the limiters. We call these limiters over here on the left-hand side because they limit the search results that we found. So there's a couple things that would be a really good idea that I recommend for you to do. One of those is to click available online. So that's going to make sure that whatever you find, you can actually pull up and read from wherever you are on your computer. You don't have to be at the physical library on campus to read through these results. So that's a really good thing to pick. The other thing that would be a really good idea would be to click peer-reviewed journals. So that's a limiter that might be helpful to you. And then finally, we want to maybe go to resource type. And so look, we don't want a review. We don't want a conference proceeding. We don't want a website for this. So we're looking specifically for probably an article, although you may also want to try books or book chapters because a lot of times those are going to be scholarly. Not always, but a lot of times they will be as well. I'm going to go ahead and stick with articles. So it's going to be an article published in a scholarly peer review, and it's going to be available online. The other limiter you probably want to think about is publication date. So we do not want something from 1600 on homelessness because that's no longer relevant, right? In fact, we should be using sources published within about the last 5 years for this topic, for these final papers. So 2014 to 2019 is going to give me a good span. Don't forget to click the green box over here, and that's going to select that as a limiter. Once you've selected all the limiters that you want from here, you can click Apply Filters, this green button. What that's going to do is just filter and limit whatever was pulled up originally. So you can see here peer-reviewed, however, no online access, right? So we don't want to click those. We're not going to be able to read them. It's going to be frustrating for us. But you can see all of these were published in journals, so Journal of School Health. They've got volume and issue numbers and page numbers. That's a really good sign of a scholarly source. They have actual authors listed, again, a good sign of a scholarly source. So I'm going to pick one that says it is available online and go ahead and click it. Or you can click into the article title. That's going to take you to the specific information about this article. If you scroll down, you can see the subjects that it's related to. This can help you decide if it's going to work for your paper. And then there's a description or an abstract here that's really a summary of the findings of this journal, or the main argument this article is making. So reading that, again, can give you a really good idea of whether you need to read the article, whether it would work for your paper. So from there, if we click available online or full text availability, selecting one of these, and if you click it open, you may at this point come to it says don't forget to log in, because you can't access these unless you are a UCM student or faculty member. So it may require you to log in here. If not, it'll take you straight here. Now, again, you can see the abstract or the description, the summary, the authors, but over here on the left, if you click PDF full text, excuse me, so if you click over that, it should pull up the article for you here, and then you can go ahead and read through the article to cite the actual information and the quotations that will be relevant to your paper. So that's one way using the library search bar. There's another way that may actually be kind of a shortcut. So if you go back to the library homepage, instead of going straight to the search bar, if you click under here where it says Browse Databases, a database is a collection of different journals that are subscribed to, sort of. So you can see there's 213 databases that the library pays for us to have access to. There's a few that might be really helpful. So one of those is Academic Search Complete under A. So if you click open that, it'll take you to that database and you can search there. Another really helpful one is EBSCOhost, and you may have worked with EBSCOhost in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and click open EBSCOhost. I always click select all because that's going to search, multiple different databases, and then continue. And then here it pulls up another, a search bar. So you can just enter your search terms here. I'm going to get a little more specific. Homelessness in Missouri. You want to try to be as specific as possible. You can also limit your results. So I am, again, going to click full text and scholarly, and you can select the date that it was published. So let's go ahead and search. And because I clicked full text, I should be able to open up the PDF full text of all of these. The limiters are also available over here, so you can change the publication date to make it a lot more recent. And you can select full text and scholarly over here as well. So we definitely want those to be clicked. Yep, give me scholarly. And then PDF full text will open those up for you so that you can actually read the article, cite the article, and get it in your paper. All right? So I hope that's helpful to you. If you have any more questions, you can always email me. You can also use the library's page. Let me show you here real quick. They're very helpful. You can do chat online right here, and they can answer any questions. If you can't find sources that you're looking for, they can help you with your search terms. If you're clicking something and it's not opening up for you, they can help you with that. So chat online is a really good way to get help specifically from librarians who know actually a lot more about what's available at the library than I do. So I hope this is helpful to you. Go ahead and start your research for your next paper and work on that research assignment. Bye!